Can Christians rationally infer the existence of God? And does this bolster the Christian's faith in believing in the God of the Bible? We're going to talk about that today in our video as we look at chapter 16 of Mere Molinism. Now, in chapter 16, Tim Stratton begins to look at apologetic arguments that he believes are strengthened by Molinism. And one of these arguments he brings up is the Kalam cosmological argument. Now, if you're not familiar with this argument, basically it states that everything that begins to exist has a cause. That's premise 1. Premise 2, the universe began to exist. Premise 3, the universe has a cause. Now, from this argument, you can begin to make deductions. Whatever this cause is must be timeless, it must be spaceless, must be immaterial. If it's going to be the cause of nature, it must be greater than nature, so must be supernatural. But not only these things, it must also be powerful and able to actually bring about the universe. The amount of power it would take to create the universe is immeasurable, I would argue. But not only that, it must also be able. And Tim uses this to defend this God, this being, whatever this is, when you're looking at the Kalam cosmological argument, that this being must have some form of libertarian freedom. He must, whatever you want to define as this thing, must have the ability to want to or to choose to bring about the universe, to bring about existence, on a universal scale. And so with this understanding, Tim basically goes on to say in this part of chapter 16 that, apart from anything abstract, because obviously, like, let's use an example like abstract objects. So like numbers could be timeless, they could be spaceless, they could be immaterial. They could contain certain aspects of what we would ascribe to a deity or to God, but they don't have this powerful ability to bring about the universe. Even if they had the power, they have no intentionality to do so. And so the only thing that could fit all these descriptors would be an unembodied mind, something that could transcend space and time and nature and all of these aspects of what we see to be the universe. Now, the reason Tim brings all of this in relation to Molinism is in Molinism, you and I have limited libertarian freedom. We have the ability to choose among a range of options. And one of the ways we do this is by being able to use reasoning and rationality. And so we can rationally infer the best explanation to a given situation or scenario. And so this is one of the ways that in the book, Tim says, hey, Molinism does a better job at defending the Kalam cosmological argument, because if causal determinism is true, then your thoughts cannot be rationally deduced, because you're just bound to come to that conclusion no matter what. And so if you're in a disagreement with somebody and you believe in causal determinism, then their end result is bound to be what it is. They're bound to think the way they do. But if you believe in limited libertarian freedom, then you believe that through compelling arguments, through logic, through reasoning and rationality, that you can help them see the coherence of what you believe. And so to answer the question at the beginning of the video, can we rationally infer, can we rationally deduce that there is a God? I would say yes, and I believe Molinism provides strength to that argument because we have the freedom to use our brain to rationally infer the best explanation for what we see, for how the universe is. So that's our video for today. I'm not going to cover the entire chapter, chapter 16. One, I haven't finished it. And then two, I wanted to try to start making these videos shorter. I mentioned it in a Facebook post earlier this week, but one, for my own sanity, because I'm not a good video editor. I'm still working on that. But then two, because I think it's beneficial to be a little bit more concise, because if someone wants to pop this video up while they're doing something, it only takes them a couple minutes to get through it. If you want to dive deep into molinism or the arguments about this, I'll put a link to Tim's book in the description. And if you want to dive deep into the Kalam cosmological argument, I'll put a link to two videos, so two links. One to a debate recently held between Andrew Loke and Graham Oppy on capturing Christianity. That was like a 2.5 hour debate. They're both insanely intelligent, way smarter than I'll ever be. But Andrew Loke is a believer, and then he was defending the Kalam cosmological argument. And then Graham Oppy is a atheist philosopher, and he was trying to present arguments. And then the second video will actually be kind of a review that Andrew did on another channel. I'm blanking on the name of that channel, but I'll link it in the description. And go check that out. That's going to be like 4+ hours of content on the Kalam. But if you're really into the philosophy of this and understanding where Christians are coming from, then I think those videos can be very helpful. But you're really going to have to like sit and focus when it comes to those videos, because Andrew's very deep, Graham is very deep. So anyway, that's all I got for you this week. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. All right, God bless.